In the wake of Russian military aggression against Ukraine, the European nations have gone all out against Russia. One such country was Poland, but the same Poland which adhered to the most anti-Russian stance in the European Union started showing signs of a shift in its stance lately. The country recently revoked the European sanctions against Russia, and now it has even announced strict actions against Poles fighting the war in Ukraine. Hello and welcome to TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of TFI Media Group. I'm your host Akanksha. Let us begin. The ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine is not just being fought between the Russians and the Ukrainians alone. Rather, the two sides have been joined by fighters from all across the globe. Poles were among the mercenaries who joined the Ukrainians in their fight, but unfortunately, they will now be serving their next 5 years behind the bars once they return back to the country. According to a Polish news outlet, Rzeczpospolita, citing Poland's penal code, Polish nationals currently serving in Ukraine's International Legion of the Armed Forces and other divisions could face up to 5 years in prison when they return home. Only 34 persons had applied for permission to join a foreign army by the end of October, the source claims. Of those, the Defense Ministry granted 2 applications, while the Interior Ministry approved 14 of them. Miroslav Chek, a journalist, former MP and Ukrainian activist, told the outlet that if not hundreds, then dozens of Poles are fighting in Ukraine. Technically, they are breaking the law and could theoretically face conviction, the news outlet wrote on Thursday. According to the Polish media site Niezależny Dziennik Polityczny, as of late November, up to 1,200 Poles have either been killed or injured while fighting in Ukraine. The Russian Defense Ministry revealed the destruction of many high-value targets by Moscow's forces on Thursday. 90 Poles, whom Moscow referred to as mercenaries, were also killed in the precision strikes. However, Wojciech Skukowicz, Deputy Director of Poland's Ministry of National Defense, has emphasized that the administration does not regard individuals engaged in fighting in Ukraine as breaking the law. According to him, the fact that those warriors are not endangering Polish interests or obstructing the objectives of the nation's armed forces warrants the exclusion of criminal accountability. However, some Polish parliamentarians have argued that the Defense Ministry's assurance that fighters won't face inquiries, interrogations, or persecution is insufficient. According to publication Independent, Senator Krzysztof Kwiatkowski proposed that a broad amnesty would be the best safeguard for them. So the Polish nationals who are serving in the Ukraine war are reportedly under the radar of the Polish government and hence will be subjected to a prison term of not less than 5 years. Moreover, the Polish constitution has done nothing in the direction of amending the constitution in order to safeguard the Poles who served in the Ukraine war, which in turn proves our claim. Poland was among the first nations to ask for more sanctions on Russia. But lately, Poland has opted for the easy way out and is critical of prolonging the war. Poland, among other nations, has been troubled by the war in Ukraine and has long back realized that the European sanctions are pushing the continent into a state of crisis. Hence, it has started siding with Russia in order to serve the country's national interests first. But the Polish nationals who went to Ukraine to fight the war against Russia will now be thrown behind the bars once they return back home.